Hi, I'm Aaron of Woodworking, and I want to share with you a little tip today. So if you look here, we've got a no frills cutting board. I like it, I like the grain. Doesn't have a juice groove, but there's a couple of things that can help really set this apart. So if you look right here, this looks like a nice long cutting board, nothing special, but let me turn it around here and you'll see we have these cutouts, these pockets. So why even have these pockets? I'll tell you. Let's say, for example, you have meat you want to put in there, sausage, salami, cheeses, crackers, all kinds of things you can put in there, and that way it's nice and neatly organized. Now, sometimes with a cutting board, maybe you're making a rub and you just want to cut up the different ingredients and have them separated. That way you're not using little cups. So there's all kind of reasons. Now, the one that I was working on here just the other day is this one. Now, you can do as many pockets you want. My thought with this was you can have cheese, olives, whatever you want, and you can have the recesses be different depths. Now for this one, I just use a nice little strip of maple, but very simple. And if it's not too thick, you could use the backside as a cutting board and get 2-in-1. So the question is, okay, well, how do I do this? So we're gonna need several things. We need to have a router. Actually, that's not a router. Oh, this guy's a router, and we call it guide bushing on the bottom. That's the thing I just had. So with the guide bushing, it's gonna ride against, take a look here, you can see how it protrudes. That prevents the bit from digging into the profile. Got a profile right here. So what we can do, let's move this board up so I can show you guys. I can make a cutout. Now you don't have to have something this fancy. I like this because it's got metric and imperial scales on it, and then I can tune it to whatever I want. So I put this on the router, and the router will just ride like this. Very simple, and then you clear out the inside. Or you can do a cutout completely and cut out the entire center. Now, there are a few things that you have to keep in mind when you're doing this. Is we have something called an offset. So as the bit protrudes from there, it's not going to butt up against the material. Now, there are some bits where they have a bearing, but I don't think those work very well because you do run the risk of digging into this, and once that happens, then you're kind of screwed. So if you look right here, I had a 6mm bit with a 27mm guide bushing. I'll show you that. So when this rides on the little track here, the distance from this edge right here to this line, that's where I placed the jig, is 6mm. So if I want it to be 100mm, then I need to double that to 112. So it's not hard math, especially if you're doing with metric. If you're doing imperial, it can get a little bit confusing, but it's not too bad. Now, this jig right here is called the variable router jig from Woodpeckers. And what I like about it, again, is I can set it as much as I want. There's different uses beside template routing, but you don't have to spend that kind of money. It was $250, which I think is a great deal. Again, depends on how much you're using it. But you could take, say, plywood, which used to be inexpensive, or MDF, and then you can cut out a shape, and then it can just ride along there. This little guy's getting upset, so I gotta wrap this up. But that's all there really is to it. You can make it out of metal, you can use MDF, whatever material you want. Guide bushings are pretty cheap. Now these were expensive, I think $20 each, but you can get them a whole kit for like 50 bucks. And then you can make these little pockets. And it's just one simple way to make your cutting boards or charcuterie boards stand out. They do take a little more time, but I do think they have kind of a coolness factor to it, but they're also pretty useful. So thank you so much, and tune in for more videos.